Hello and welcome. On this evening is a very sensitive and indeed one of very big topics we have here. Left to rot, and we're looking at the role of legal aid in Ghana. Now, left to rot, as you can see, my own Abako Mahene of Dumasa Seth Kwame Boateng came up with this amazing documentary about prisoners on remand. And it looks as if that if you are fully sentenced, you're much better off than being suspected of being a criminal or not. The situation there was just appalling. Indeed, when we showed that video, the comments and everything we had told me that this matter touched you. But one of the questions that kept coming up is that, listen, not everyone there on remand can afford a lawyer. I mean, the big Kofi the Woodoos and the big, Martin Pegbu and Bedi Etio. I mean, have you got the dollars to, call these boys to get you out of there? No. However, the state is obliged to provide you a lawyer. And indeed, anytime an arrest is made, you are reminded that if you can't afford a lawyer, the state will afford you a lawyer. This lawyer should speak whichever language it is that you understand clearly, so you know what's going on. But then if you look at the crowds and the people in there, has this thing been abided by? Is the state neglecting its part of the bargain? Or indeed the legal aid lawyers, are not, stepping up to their game? That's what we are going to find out here. You know what? My name is Nana Ansakwa the Fourth, Akwamuedu Masahini, and also your host. When I come from the break, we are going to just get a little clip to refresh our minds on what Seth Kwame Boateng discovered. And then with me in the studio are some brilliant, selfless lawyers from Legal Aid. I'll introduce them later so that we can have a conversation. Don't move.
I'm Mama Madana, Sadi for me. It's so much as Sadi. It's almost all Tina. Patataso, the Primo Sadi. And I have for so. Old man for now. Bahana Machana. And tea, the from Tabatabo. Tabatabo. The old man from Canada. Among Banamunia Horness, a moment down. And I will move a pick up. Omiti Karma Karmintu. The Monty Oba pick up on Omiti. Jadiache. Ombe big gate now, no sorry. Omiti say, Sanacity. We moved it. Omamba Hanama Macan for 3 years, 4 years now. Much I can name Mama. And what is your according to Oma Machewa? Oba chair, Yamaoda, and Oba on your holding so holding this year, Yamaoda. Oma Frona, Mohodine, Yamama, the same sardina. Now, Oma Champagne, Oma says some panasine. Oma Baharama, Oma Chabadomia, only 1 year corner, and a Mama Kodam Panasi. Nipa 18 na sempanase. Na senior men na muda to kule. Senior man na hono. Oma ya chensu wa ha. Oma am ya prade ma hana. Oma bua ma ya fede man e bia to kwasi de ma bua ya patana. Oma na dampa na so. Oma da su tutu. Tutu. Aso Oma mo kya de ma chapa na. Oma na dampa suro no. Officials. The official senior man for us, official from that's one.
Welcome back. Maybe I should have warned you to say the images you're about to see would sadden your heart, so I apologize if I didn't say that. But I would introduce my guest to you. Right next to me is Alhassan Yaya Saini, who is the Executive Director for Legal Aid Scheme. Alhassan, you're welcome.
Thank you for having me.
You know me, I'm a traditional ruler, so every who appears first, be ambantems, you have to charge them a bottle of something. made in Ghana. And then next to him is Sani Muhammad Abdul Rashid, who is the legal aid officer, and apparently the only one in charge of criminal law or criminal cases. Criminal cases.
In the greater
Region.
In the greater Accra
Yes.
region.
That's in-house.
In-house.
Yes.
So if you're out there thinking of committing a crime and you don't have money, think twice. Think twice. But just to set the premises, now these are the legal bases. Now, according to Article 294, Clause 2 and 3 of the Ghana 1992 Constitution, it stipulates that, subject to Clause 2(1) of this article, Parliament shall, by or under an Act of Parliament, regulate the grant of legal aid. 3, without prejudice to Clause 2 of this article, Parliament may, under the clause, provide for granting of legal aid in such matters other than those referred to in Clause 1 of this article, which may be prescribed by or under that Act. Goes to the mandate. And the same Article 294(1) of the 92 Constitution provides that the mandate of the scheme is as 1. For the purpose of enforcing any provisions of this Constitution, a person is entitled to legal aid in connection with any proceedings relating to this Constitution if he has reasonable grounds for taking, defending, prosecuting, or being a party to the proceedings. Pursuant to Articles 294(2) and 3, Parliament enacts the Legal Aid Scheme Act, 1997 Act 542, by which it is also mandated the scheme to provide legal services to persons who are poor or are facing criminal charges for which they could suffer death or life imprisonment without prejudice to their right to a lawyer of their choice. So then you ask the director of legal aid scheme that, so why are all these people languishing in jail, waiting for their day in court and having a lawyer of their choice to defend them?
Yeah. Why? The Constitution guarantees everybody's right upon arrest to lawyer of your choice. The Constitution also recognizes that not everybody can afford a lawyer, whether of choice or not. So that is why the Constitution, like you have read, got Parliament to enact a law to give people for the processes of affording people lawyers or legal services where they need and cannot afford those services, for the poor and for people of a certain level. And unfortunately, even though this scheme act has been in place, it replaced an earlier one, PNDC Law 187, which had established a legal aid scheme under the PNDC. And basically, it gives you, it says we should have lawyers, and we should also have the Bar Association participating in the provision of the legal services. And both ways we have had difficulties. Getting lawyers as employed in-house people, the state has had difficulties satisfying that. The bar providing personnel on a regular basis also to assist in these services has also not been easy.
Explain that to the layman. When you say the bar should provide personnel, who should they provide, like secretaries or, I mean, I don't understand.
No, the Act, the Legal Aid Scheme Act provides that as part of the legal personnel that the legal aid scheme is supposed to be using, we are supposed to have the bar providing a list of personnel,
i.e.
lawyers from region to region who will be available to provide legal aid services, in addition to the people that the Legal Aid Board would have employed. And then the third group are those who are lawyers who are doing national service. Those are the three groups of people who are supposed to be providing legal services under the legal aid scheme. The first group, like I indicated, employing lawyers, has had its own challenges because with all the efforts that we have made to try and get lawyers to be employed, as of now we have only 21 lawyers countrywide.
Is it maybe you are not making it attractive enough, regardless of money? Maybe the monetary may not be there, but maybe you're not making the whole system attractive enough, or
well, there are
not sexy enough.
Well, definitely no one, like someone said, legal aid definitely is not anything that can be sexy, particularly when it has to do with criminal justice. Because the perception of the average person out there is that once you have been accused of a crime, you are a criminal. And we have heard people, it's not unusual to hear that upon arrest, the person, we start calling the person a criminal. So when you come forward to try and assist that person to protect his rights and ensure that justice is done, not only to him, but also to the victim, because you are stating his side of the case in order that the court can make a proper case. People think that then you are defending criminals, and therefore people are not interested in helping you to help people who they consider to be criminals. I think that's one difficulty that we have in getting these things done. And then as far as the, because I'm aware that I've assigned cases to people, and in the course of doing those cases, they have had difficulty because people have come complaining that why are you in this case? One of my senior staff, I think the one in charge of criminal justice delivery, Obo, when the issue of the, I'll just give the example. When I learned that the person who is alleged to have, Asidu, alleged to have killed an MP, was being arraigned before court without a lawyer. When I learned this, I assigned that case to Obo. The complaints that I've had from Obo about people saying that why are you in this? Why are you defending a criminal? He's a murderer. Why are you in this? And even from the kind of people who are even making those kind of statements.
You expect them to know better.
You expect them to know better. So if legal...
Some of them are also lawyers who are defending people in court.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. The kind of people who are said to be making these statements, you don't expect that from them, but they are also in it. So legal aid really is not something that is sexy. It's not something that people are in a hurry to assist. So that's why quite often we want to believe that then as much as possible the state, which has a duty to ensure that there is justice for everybody, fair trial all the time, has to provide for the assistance for these people to be able to have the defense.
Let me stay with you. And I'm coming from the layman point of view, so you have to pardon my question. I mean, could there be, I mean, the national service side, to say that you do 2-year national service, and you must have, let's say, a 60% or 70%, case that you've won to be able to get a full license to move on, so that when they come as a national service, they are not there just to pass in, but they need for me to get a full license, I must prove that, look, I won at least 70% of my cases, 7 out of 10. Otherwise, I don't get to move out on my own. I don't know, maybe just...
No, that is true. Actually, apart from, I think that one of the things that we have been able to persuade the General Legal Council to do, and it's coming up as part of the training of lawyers, is to get them into practical training. So you don't just come out as a lawyer with a certificate with only the theory. Some 6 or so months of your training will be in practical things. So people like that can then come and learn firsthand in the legal aid scheme. Then we also have persuaded the General Legal Council, as it were, to make even the license of lawyers, which is renewed annually, subject to your proof that you have done pro bono work with the legal aid scheme. In principle, that has been accepted. The modalities for getting it done is what we are still working on, because we need to work on, get some amendments to the law to get it effective. But that is, in principle, that is coming up. So we are hoping that eventually, but the problem that I have with that system is for the poor person who needs the best, we have a worry that maybe compulsion can give the person the worst. Because if the lawyer who is coming to do the thing is not doing it because he believes in the need to do it, and he's coming to do it because I've been asked to do it, that's what I need to do to get a license, then we can have some challenges with that delivery.
If you give them a quota, wouldn't they set up? If they have a quota to say, look, at least 7 out of your 10 cases, you have to come out with a win. And if you're unfortunate and the guy is genuinely guilty, then you have to keep fighting until your score goes up.
Yes, actually, yes. If the person has a bad case, the person has a bad case. You can't do anything about it. You are supposed to assist the court to do justice. You are not coming to ensure that the person who is guilty is left off the hook. That's not the thing that the legal aid lawyer is supposed to do. And I don't think that's what the thing that any defense lawyer is supposed to do.
Would the quota be unfair to put on?
But the thing to do is to make sure that the person actually has done the case professionally to the best of the ability of that any lawyer would have done. So that at the end of the day, if the judge decides that this is the thing, you can establish that the person had done it the way it should have been done. Unlike situations in which there are situations in which people have just gone ahead, I'm supposed to go to court, and they have gone to court, they have not considered what the cause of action actually is, what the defenses are. They have just come to court because they are there. Where they ought to object, they don't object. What evidence they ought to have put in, they don't put it in. And at the end of the day, because he doesn't have a case, it's the party who has a case. So if there's a loss, it's the party who has lost, not him. And I think that, and that's why normally the thing is, you choose your lawyer. So if your lawyer comes and messes your case up, then it is your case, not the court's case. But when it comes to legal aid, we want to be sure that the person who cannot afford to pay a lawyer and therefore may not have the chance to go on appeal and all those kind of things gets the best right from the outset, so that justice can be done and done properly right from the time that the first trial starts. I think basically that's what we want to do.
And all this is being executed by 21 lawyers right all the way from Boko to Axim. All 25, 26, 27, 30 million of us go. No matter how many million of us, we have 21 lawyers. And the average income bar, whatever it is, probably about a quarter of us, not being very, very generous, a quarter of these people cannot afford a lawyer. And so a quarter of the population will depend on the charity or philanthropy of these 21 gallant men, which I have one in the room. So right after the break, I'm going to ask him, why did you choose legal aid? Don't go. Much for staying, and we are looking at left to right, the role of legal aid in Ghana. And you saw the beginning of the clip there where people were just packed in the room to the brim. They were lying down as sardines under the bed, sitting in a pickup. And these are all people presumed innocent until their good day in court, if they are going to be found guilty or not. With me in the studio as well is Sani Mohammed Abdul Rashid, who's a legal aid officer. And he's the only in-house lawyer who deals with criminal cases in Accra. So if you are in Accra and you commit a crime and you can't afford a lawyer, and there was 5 million people in Accra, but Accra, I think the wealth bar is a bit up. So let's say there are about 1 million people in Accra who may not be able to afford. And out of the million, let's say 2% of them maybe have a criminal case. They will all have to come to you. And first of all, I just want to find out why you chose this unsexy part of the legal fraternity?
First and foremost,
No, speak up a bit.
Yes, first and foremost.
We are going to.
When I was at the university, I got the opportunity of doing my national service at the legal aid scheme.
Okay.
Firsthand, I got to know what the place was like. That every day people came in for help that they couldn't find anywhere, and they just had few people who had to give them that help wherever it was coming from. So at the end of the day, I told myself that given the opportunity I had there, I decided that after law school, at least going to legal aid and doing cases, trying to help people who come there will give me a sense of, belongingness, to the extent that you would be there helping people you can associate with, people you feel for them, people you know that these people do not have any other place to go than come there. A sense of responsibility towards people's rights and freedoms, that somebody is arrested and he has nowhere else to go, and somebody tells him that go to a place called legal aid. Now the person comes to legal aid, there are not so many lawyers there, and they have to really get the help they needed. So I told myself that no, after law school, I would try and go to this place where I can be of service, where I can give my bit to humanity and try and see what I can do to help the numerous people who were coming in daily for legal assistance.
So, I mean, how then do you cope? Because when you say criminal matters, I mean, it's just, so how do you cope? What's your day like?
My normal day is going to court and doing more than 2 cases, because the police keep arresting people and they keep coming to the office and they keep assigning the cases to me. So there are days I actually have 5 cases. And a day like that, I just have to find, in different courts. Sometimes at different locations. I just have to find a way. So what I have done is to get closer to the court clerks and the registrars. Sometimes I go to the court, I negotiate with them, I tell them that they shouldn't call my case and then they should push it down so I'm able to rush to another court so I can finish business and come back. At the end of the day, some judges do not care. You are supposed to be in court at 8:30. At 8:30, the case is mentioned. They don't care wherever you are. They would proceed. And some would actually warn you that if you mention the case and you are not there, we will proceed. And one person having to do a whole lot of cases, you just have to find a way. And I have tried in my own small way to kind of make friends with court clerks and then to see how I can,
juggle the day.
Yes, so that I'm able to go do 5 minutes here, tell the clerk that, okay, I'll be coming in 10 minutes. Then I run to another court to tell them that I have to do cross-examination. Then I will get some time, I buy some time to go and, finish up another case somewhere.
But then, so, you see, then the issue, which I'm sure if I was to open the phones, which will come is that legal aid lawyers don't work wholeheartedly. It's like, look, the guy is not, he's poor, just bang, 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 get out of the way, let me go. If you're locked up, you're locked up.
The truth is, at the end of the day, you are a lawyer, and sometimes your reputation matters. So you are not just doing the case because it's a legal aid case. You are also doing it as a professional, and you need to do it in a way that a good lawyer would handle a case. So at the end of the day, you have to choose between doing a shoddy job and representing yourself in a certain way to the judge you are before, or giving it your all and doing it the way a professional would do the case. So at the end of the day, I tell myself that so far as and as long as my name is being recorded as representing somebody, I have to do it to the best of my ability. I don't have to do it just because it's a legal aid case, but I have to also do it because my name is going into the records as representing somebody who doesn't have access to a lawyer, but who readily needs one.
You know what, I wouldn't mind if I can take a couple of calls to see if viewers out there, if anyone has had any encounter with legal aid, if they were helpful, if they were not helpful, what challenges you face. And I ask that because, you see, most lawyers, if they come to court, is printing fee, lorry fare, T&T, seeing fee, looking fee, whatever fee it is, you have to pay something before they leave. But here you are, mate, the guy could be a granite seller who fell over and spilled, something. They don't have money. But you then have to go and drive here and drive there and drive there to go and depend. This granite seller who can't buy your fuel, can't pay for your photocopy. So how do you manage?
Well, sometimes from your own salary, you have to you have to be in court. Not having fuel is no excuse for you not to go to court. As I earlier said about the reputation, the judges you go before, they also observe and get to know the way you act in court. So what I tell myself is that if I start a case, I wouldn't say I won't go because I am not being paid money or I'm not being given full, allowance. No, I have to go and finish it. Sometimes I just have to. When you go to court, there are days you go, and some of the clients that come to court, you have to give them something to go back. Because this is somebody who is coming. Yes, this is somebody who is coming from afar. The judge, there's a case against the person. Whether the case is good or bad, the person has to be before the court. If the person doesn't come, a bench warrant will be issued against the person. Wherever the person is going to get transportation and come, it is not the duty of anybody else but that person. There are people who come from Kumasi, maybe to Accra, to transact a business, and they get arrested. He has no family in Accra, so and sometimes they fix dates, today, tomorrow, and the day after. He has to sleep in Accra, whether he has a place to stay or not. No, he has to stay for the number of days he's supposed to be in Accra, go to Kumasi, come back any day the court schedules a date for hearing. Sometimes they come to the office and they are pleading with us to give them transportation back. And sometimes you just look at them and you find out these are people who just don't have. And you can't look at him. So from your own resources, sometimes you give them to go back to where they are coming from.
Let me put these numbers out. It's 0302211701702 703 704. So 0302211701 Just give me a call. Let's see what's happening. Now, you see, the whole Ghana is not Accra. And in Accra and Kumasi, the examples may be easier. But I mean, there are some people in the hinterland. Because I mean, if I take my own Dumasa, the nearest court to us will be Senche. And sometimes there are some people where, the lorry fare to Senche alone could be a challenge. Sometimes when you're in Accra and somebody says 5 cedis, you think, well, I buy peanuts with it. It could be somebody's monthly budget.
Yeah, actually, well, I have been in operation. I was in operation for a long time before I took this administrative position. I still remember my days I was in Tamale, I was not in Accra at the time, for several years. So you are asking about your day, what your day is like. Thinking back.
No, for you, okay, let me speak to John in Ho so we can see what's happening outside. Hello, John.
Yeah.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, John.
I really appreciate the program and the discussion.
Thank you.
In fact, my concern is, do the politicians really know that we only have one legal aid person who is serving the whole of Accra?
What? No, he's not. He's only the one doing criminal. Is on the criminal desk.
I'm not the only one.
Accra has 4 lawyers.
I mean,
Accra has 4 lawyers.
Serving that of, population in Accra.
Yeah.
My question I ask is, can't we do something about it in this 21st
the
century?
numbers.
The numbers we have, the whole of Ghana, 21. And look at as if they have no priority for us. I mean, we should reconsider our decision as Ghanaians. You should have called one of the politicians to be there and tell us the plans they have, in addressing some of these issues. Because after discussion, this matter will die and nobody will talk about it again.
John, thank you very much. Let me go to Tamale and I have Alhaji Abdullahi. Hello, Alhaji.
Hello.
Alhaji, good evening and welcome to this discussion. And let me hear your take on it.
Good evening to you and your panelists.
Thank you.
I just want to extend warmer greetings to my friend, lawyer Seni.
Okay.
That we've met him in Tamale. We want him back, so we want to see him tomorrow morning. Join us in prayer.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Welcome. And any issues, the numbers are 0302 211 701. Any issues with regards to legal, if you've had any experience or any concerns, let us hear it. This is a message on WhatsApp and it says, Nana, the job these guys have taken upon themselves to do is what inspires some of us. I'm going to Koforidua. Who am I speaking to? Kwabna in Koforidua.
Yes.
Yes, Kwabna, let me hear you.
Yeah. But I'm given to understand that just as you are saying, you don't have enough lawyers to do the legal aid work. And therefore, some of the lawyers, doing their private business, are helping in this regard. But our understanding is that they are not being paid, so they cannot fully do the job. And I want to know if that fact is true.
Okay, let's get...
That's in relation to the private lawyers who assist with legal aid delivery.
That's it, yeah.
We have a relationship with the bar, under which we have to contribute to their costs. So we don't pay them the commercial rates. Now the agreement is that we pay them 20% of the minimum on the scale of fees.
Okay.
But before now, I remember at a certain point, the amount that was being paid to a lawyer for doing a case actually was not worth the check on which it was written.
Oh, wow.
But I think that given the scale of fees now, 20% is quite substantial, given the average person's income in this country. Because I am aware that, but because of the beginnings of legal aid and the fact that it was not worth even asking for the money, in a lot of the places, the people still do not ask. They just still do the case pro bono and they don't do anything about it.
Let's speak to Justice.
But if they do report the case that they have done, we do make the contribution.
Okay, I'll go to Odumasi and speak to Justice. Hello, Justice.
Yeah, hello. My name is Sankoro.
Yes.
Yeah, I would actually like to ask a question and then pass a comment as well. I remember way back in school, University of Ghana, I went to some prisons and we were told this lawyer, Chatusi Kata, when he came there and he was given amnesty, he promised taking out some lawyers out through this free Chachu movement. How far have they gone and how many people have they brought out? That's one of my issues I would like to raise. Maybe let me end there so that others can also come. So I'd like your panelists to give me an information on that.
Actually, I don't speak for Chachu. He's my teacher, and so I'm not in a position to speak for him and say that this is what he has done, what he has not done. But the fact that he has taught me to be where I am and to be doing what I'm doing, I think that that's some show that he has done something for the people of this country. But I do recall that at a certain point when the prisons also got choked again, and the Prisons Directorate complained that they had about 1,150 people there whose warrants had lapsed. We took up the matter. actually, because we couldn't get the Attorney General who had taken them to court to have them released. We couldn't get the court which had taken them in there to have them released. And the prison people said that they couldn't release them even though they had no lawful authority to be keeping them. So we had to take the matter up in court, in the Human Rights Court, for the release of all the 1,150 people whose warrants had lapsed. Eventually, the court gave that order. That was in 2012.
Wow. Yes. Let's speak to Pipra Asante from where? In Takoradi. Hello, Pipra.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, let me hear you.
Yeah. I'm very pleased with your program. This particular one concerning the 21 gallant lawyers who are representing the poor all around the country. My suggestion is that they are not being paid. They are using their own pocket money for transportation and assisting the client in filing the cases to the courts and others. I'm suggesting if the Ghana general, the government in general, can take up their responsibility, at least pay something to them, give them some allowance, and the fuel allowance, so that these gallant men, who I know there is none in Ghana today that will do this type of free work with their own money, not even our parliamentarians, will come to this people's state. So if we will give a suggestion to the government that they should even be given some allowance with approval from the parliament, and a law which should be enacted into our constitutional law, will give them the government the right to give these people something. I would much appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll come back to you. Let me stay in Takoradi and speak to Israel. Hello, Israel. Hello, Israel.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. If you lower your set and then just listen to me from your headset.
Yeah,
I can hear you very well.
Right. My suggestion is that we need to create more room for these people. Looking at them lying down there, I think they also vote right when it comes for election. Even if they don't vote, they are human beings that are equally to enjoy the equal rights that we do. So why don't they create more rooms for them to sleep? Looking at them being lying down and then people have been passing through them each night and each day, it is not nice. We need to talk to our parliamentarians for them to do more. If we take it easy, that is when they will take it easy. We need to talk to whoever is in power to give them more room for them to relax. It is uncalled for.
Thank you very much, Israel. Israel is going to be my... Okay, so Daniel Impeki is going to be my last caller. Hello, Daniel.
Hello, Nana.
Daniel, are you as concerned as I am?
More than concerned, because I am one person who always wants justice to prevail in Ghana.
Yeah.
It's very unfortunate staff of legal aid are not many. My only advice to you to them is that they should make publicity of their services to the poor more known. Because I can say...
Hey, at 21, aren't you scared to make... Wouldn't you be scared to publicize? If you have only 21 of your staff and you go out and say, oh, hello, I'm here.
all the same, Ghanaians need their service. Nana.
I know.
About 60% of Ghanaians doesn't know they even exist at all. See people going around looking for lawyers, even with little incentives to support so that they can help them fight for justice. So I will only suggest to my brothers there that they should make themselves more known. I believe with time their staff strength will be beefed up because more people are going into the law and there are a lot of people who want to help at the end of the day.
And lawyers are so expensive these days, huh?
Yes. About all the same, their services are needed, Nana.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you so much for that. And you could tell, I think everybody is treading very carefully because they know that it's a sort of a part or a sector that shouldn't be touched or shouldn't be messed about with. But let me stay with you. Why is it that we don't put priority on justice? and I think I can say that on authority, even though I haven't done any research or anything, but we haven't put priority on justice.
I think that to the extent that we are a society which has gone quite material. So everything that almost everything that we think about is how much is this producing? We quite often don't even think about how much is it saving us. Because so I think that is the problem that we have in this situation. Because yes, if the justice that we are providing were not there, and people didn't look up to us to provide the justice, and everybody decided to take the law into their own hands, would we still have a government? But we don't look at things that way. We don't look at things in terms of what is saving us. We like, as a people, to think of what is it bringing into my pocket? What is it bringing? What is it giving me to be able to go to the market? That's what the average person thinks. And I think that because the average person thinks that way, our government can help thinking the same way. Because our government is who we are. So if we are looking for money to establish legal aid, the question is, what is legal aid bringing into the kitty? If they cannot quantify it, then really, is it worth it? I think that is one of the problems that we have in this kind of situation.
Let me catch up with some of your messages. It says, hello, Nana. The lawyers are not gallant men, but gallant men and women, because I know a woman who has been there 20 years. She's an Okuapem woman called Sweetie Sowa. This is Chumberry Ma in Takrady. Oh my God, they are nodding that yes, they know of Sweetie Sowa. And Nana, how do we have such legal aid at the magistrate court? I don't get your question properly. This one says that nice program, I love it, from Roxanne in Akosombo. Okay, thank you very much, Roxanne. And then this one says, is there any compensation after realizing one is innocent? I think after you've been left there in the pickup or sardine, do you have any? This one is from, it says, Nana, good job. These guys have taken upon themselves, to do what inspires some of us to have an unquenchable quest to read law in the not too distant future. I would do cases like these pro bono. Once human freedom is involved, because that would be my utmost satisfaction. A lot of people are suffering in prisons for offenses they know absolutely nothing about. That documentary by Seth Kwame Boateng is, to me, the best of all his works. Thank God your people recognized him. I pray I become a lawyer to join this worthy cause. So God help me. From Barry Makubaji in Jene Jene. I'm going to take a break here. Don't move. The conversation was still going on even though the break was on. But I think the question came again, and it was that, Nana, do we have such legal aid at the magistrate court level? I think that's what you wanted to ask. Bogolo is your name. But before the answer that, let me remind you that SETI, Reality and the Ministry of Water Resources, Works and Housing present the Multi-TV Habitat Fair 2016. And visit the second mini Habitat Fair at the West Hills Mall from Friday 29th to Saturday 30th July 2016, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. daily. And to receive guidance on all your housing and household needs. Now, these are the attractions. You don't want to miss this, right? Free car washing from beautiful ladies of Auto Centrum, free turtle wax car washing product giveaways from Auto Centrum, free playgrounds for kids during the fair, so the kids can playing around while the parents, go into the fair. Multi-TV Habitat Fair 2016 is brought to you by SETI Reality. Fair and affordable housing is a basic right for all. Caspon Limited, your home of quality marble and granite. JL Properties will build you a home. And Auto Centrum, love your car. Noble Realty, own a Noble property today. Elegant Homes and General Construction, where quality meets value. To exhibit your housing products and services during the fair, please contact the following numbers. And it's 054 010 6468 or 0540 123 799. 0540 123 799. Habitat Fair 2016, affordable housing for all. Multi-TV, as you know, is just thrills. Magistrate courts, can you get legal aid?
Yes, it depends on what the case is. You can get legal aid.
So it starts from there?
Yes,
from
there. You can get legal aid at all the levels of court. Depends on what the case is about.
Before I come back to you, let me go back to Lasani and find out if you're allowed to take on private jobs,
No, you are not allowed to take on private jobs.
So with your monthly salary, it doesn't matter how many cases come, you just have a fixed salary.
No. It's just a fixed salary.
You're not being fair on us now. At least 2 private jobs a month.
The other thing is, you are the only one doing a whole lot of cases already. You can't afford to be doing private things. If you take it up, you might not do it. And these are people who are going to pay you. And they will follow you. They'll be like, hey, we have given you money. We need to see results.
Okay, so we're talking behind the scenes. You had a case in Amasaman, Accra, and Tema. So in this case, legal aid will give you a car and driver?
No.
Hey, helicopter? Well, how do you...
I get up, I fuel my car, and I go. I make sure I leave very early in the morning. I get to Amasaman. Make sure sometimes if you have seniors, if you have seniors, you have to plead with them to allow you just take a bite of your case. Then you have to rush, even if it's 10 minutes or 5 minutes, then you have to rush to the other side, do some 10 minutes, and then go back to, because you need to do the 3 cases. Because the thing is, if you don't do it, they get an adjournment onto a day that you are already packed. So you have to be there so that you ensure that you even plead in court so that you get a date that is a bit favorable to you. If not, they adjourn a day. If you don't go to court, they adjourn a case onto another day that you might be packed. But they don't care. They will still do it. And your client needs representation. You just can't do anything about it.
Surely, Mr. Hassan, you can give us 21 items. You only have 21 lawyers, just 21 items or $10,000 a piece, so that we can be running up and down. Because, you see, we're talking Accra and Amasaman and everything you can do it. But imagine somebody's in Koforidua and has to come to probably Suhum and this and that.
Let me just give you are talking about Koforidua Suhum. I remembered the last time I had that kind of, and I really had that kind of problem. It was in the Northern Region again. We had gone, you talked about advertising legal aid when we don't have personnel. We had gone and launched a legal aid office in Yendi and gotten them to be aware that the people who were in custody and didn't have lawyers and needed lawyers could apply for legal aid. The only lawyer we have in the Northern Region is in Tamale. And he doesn't have a vehicle. The applications were made. When it came to the day for them to be in court in Yendi, clearly the man could not go because he didn't have a vehicle. Apart from his being packed with cases in Tamale, the fact that he physically could not travel to Yendi was an issue. So what I was mentioning to someone said that you feel they will beat you up because you are deceiving them. And these are realities. Because if you don't have, if the resources are not there, they are not there.
But you see, but the other side of the coin, that somebody's life could be at stake.
Precisely. That one is always at stake. Someone's life, someone's freedom is at stake. That one, there's no two ways about it.
And you're also stuck.
Yeah.
I mean, so in that case, I mean, can this person, sue the state? Well, how can he sue the state? He hasn't even got means for a free lawyer, let alone a paid lawyer to go and sue the state.
No, but yes, but I those are the kind of things that...
Because when I read the Constitution, you said the state should provide me with a lawyer. And here I am in court, and my lawyer says, look, I can't come because I don't have a car. So whose fault is it?
Yeah, so I think that these are the kind of things that, like someone said, I think the person from who, we need to be able to lobby our politicians to see what they can do for the legal aid scheme. Not only that, but also even those of us who can afford something to make some contribution to legal aid delivery. Because yes, legal aid is established as a state institution, but justice is not cheap. Let us not make any about. And so if we want to have the justice for everybody, and it is in the interest of the rich that at least the poor believe in the justice system. If they don't get that...
Because it's very important. It is in the interest of the rich that the poor get justice.
Yes. It is in the interest of the rich that the poor get justice.
If they take it for themselves.
If they take it for granted, they may not have the riches. They may not have the riches even if they have their lives.
To enjoy their riches.
Yeah, even if they have their lives, they may not have the riches. So it is not just the state. Let us lobby the state to provide what they have to provide. But even as individuals and corporate bodies, we need to see what we can do to contribute to ensure that those who are down there have a certain belief that they can access justice.
Mr. Nana, your panelists are just so fantastic. In fact, I am impressed and I have learned a lot. This is from Kuri Mohammed in Bandai. Thank you for tuning in. This one says, Nana, Nana, if I had my own way, I would have advised for the title Left to Rot to be changed for something else, because I weep anytime I set my eyes on those at the prisons that are so packed. Do we really believe in the rule of law? Oh, Amagana. This is from Bolgo again. This one was saying something about, says, good evening, Nana. You have brought another topic so dear to me. I called to contribute, but my calls were not answered. In my opinion, I think the public attitude towards suspected criminals is what is drawing people from voluntary service in the legal aid. Also, lawyers have failed us completely. Their love for money is over the love for humanity. Sometimes I go to court, and if you see how law treats clients, who can't pay them fully, it's sad. It saddens my heart, and I also aspire to be a lawyer one day just because of the vulnerable ones. Justice, I know, emanates from the people, and one's access to the justice should not be determined by how much money the person can pay. Government must make provisions to ensure that more lawyers serve in the legal aid. Freeman in Agogo. Unfortunately, my time is up, but I will ask my gentlemen if I offer them the platform again, we look at the visions and missions of legal aid and how we can fulfill them. And this one I'm putting you on the spot on live TV.
Yeah, we look forward to it.
So I will get them again, probably if not next week or just the week after, so we continue this discussion, because I think it's one that's close to home and is dear to us.
And just a quick one before you
Very
end.
quick.
I just wanted to let you know that despite our problems, our challenges, from 2011 to 2014, legal aid scheme handled a total of 31,340 cases.
Between the 21 of you? Including the private ones that come to help.
With legal, with ADR
and also the ADR personnel.
31 cases.
Yeah,
31,000.
Wow.
And Accra alone does an average of 3,000 cases in a year.
So we have to continue this discussion. Yes. We have to continue the discussion. I'll try and get to my producer and get him back and find out how that is possible. And look at how much they took off, the national purse. Well. Folks, that's all time will allow us. Thank you very much. But the number you want is 024-366-2001. 024-366-2001. That's Dantees. They make my shirts for the show, and indeed this shirt is very, very nice. They're doing a 10%, so give them a call and get your 10%. But thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Golden Country.